Welcome everybody to episode 52. 52. It's 1 year. 1 year. 52.
1 year.
Woo!
Whoa! Sorry for our viewers at home who have not yet escaped quarantine.
Christina, you were a cheerleader.
I was.
Keyword
Keyword was.
And
Are those
dancing
sanctioned
was.
moves?
Keyword was. If you've seen white girl moves here.
Oh,
From this girl.
whatever.
Anyway.
I saw White
She
Chicks
does
Rock
not make
and
songs like Mandy
nothing
Moore
you
anymore.
did
No.
resembled anything in that movie.
Welcome to What Are You Drinking Now?
Yes, what are you drinking now? Episode 52. Here at the office, if you see behind us, we are actually above ground this week.
Yeah, we're
Corona's
back.
over. The road is gone.
The road is gone. America's back.
We got riding around the country. Road is gone.
Yep. So
We're in
gonna-
space now.
There was literally, you would have seen flashing lights out that window 30 seconds ago. But fear not, where we are is not in the midst of looting and rioting. Seems like our fellow citizens have their wits about
Don't
them.
tell them exactly where we are. We're at the Office Coffee Wine Bar, South North Carolina, 3280 Georgia 2nd Highway. Don't tell them exactly where we are because we don't want the looting and
I
rioting.
just pinged on my social websites.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, this is not the easiest
I
place
know
to
you're
live, though. you know?
you're
I know, I totally tweeted in my pants. I'm
I know
sorry.
you're covered on social websites. Okay, so tonight, I think Christina and I, maybe Nick, are giving a little shout out to one of our local breweries again.
Are you fact checking my tweet in my
Good old
pants?
Edward
We're doing some
T.
Edward Teach. She's doing the German lager.
It is
Doing
below the
Teach's
belt.
Peaches. I gotta get used to where that camera is.
And Nick actually has, we have a draft of
I
theirs
gotta tell you,
going on.
thank you for grabbing some Edward
Devil's Sun,
Peach, because
yeah.
I'm drinking the Devil's Sun.
We
Right
love
off
Edward
the bat.
Teach. Last week we had some
Good.
Wrightsville Beach. This week we're gonna push some Edward Teach.
Hey Rob, did I
Good,
just
solid local beer.
They're canning up peach right now. We got plenty in stock.
Yep.
And they're going to be canning up a fresh batch of Devil's Sun, what I'm
Yep.
drinking right now, short
2
and
weeks.
going. And then they're going to be doing
This coming
more
week is peach. Next week is
after that.
and then they've got a special brew just for bottle shops coming
That's
out
right.
later this summer.
So
That's
we're very
right.
excited about
There-
that. So
it's-
keep an eye out on our Facebook, and we'll have
We
it posted when
might
we
even
get it.
see if we can get Eric in here to.
Remember what they kept calling
That'd
it?
be cool. That'd be really cool.
No serial code, no barcode.
Yep. No barcode. It's strictly bottle shop only.
Super excited for that teach.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Maybe we get Eric in here. I don't know if he's gonna be able to drink with the mask. I don't.
Maybe
I'll
we
give
could
him a
just
hard time.
get
Just-
some
I haven't seen
supplemental
his
from
face
him.
in
That'd be
3
nice.
months.
I wonder if they make like straws that fit through the diaphragms of the masks.
Maybe.
There's a
So,
straw for every
What do we got going on for tasters
I
night?
think I'm gonna start
It's
because I'm very, very excited this week, you guys.
Because this is
So
the week of the melon.
This is week of the melon for sure. We are in the middle of some nice Gosa seasons, and I'm starting off with the Anderson Valley Brewing Company. Good old AVBC, the Briny Melon Gosa. I will tell you that this is my favorite beer.
So we got 2 cases in the day it came out. 1 case went to this girl.
Yep, it's at my house,
You
and
got-
most of it
you-
has already
it
been
was you.
consumed.
She bought a case of Brian Melon.
I will tell you that most of that case was consumed over the weekend. So,
I said, Rob, who's the drunk who likes pickled watermelon
Me.
rinds?
Me. Alright, guys, I'm a little bit passionate about this beer.
Wait,
I
didn't you guys
absolutely
make fun
love
of me
it.
last week? Like something about I didn't know what salted watermelon was.
Yeah.
And then it was like on the video. By the way, I do know, okay?
I do know.
And I did before.
Alright,
However,
guys.
I am so excited about tasting more briny melon.
So, Anderson Valley has a lot of awesome beers. They're one of my favorite breweries. It is a goal of mine to get out to Boonville.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
go tour their spot. It's definitely on the list of things to do.
Classic NoCal, original microbrew series. During the 90s, these guys were just fabulous.
Yep. So it's an awesome. My favorite thing about their logo is that it is got a
You clip it.
beer on it.
Are you clipping?
No.
Okay.
It's got a beer on it, guys.
Sorry,
Like,
guys. Just trying to get a little technical.
It's a
thing
bear
out.
deer. It's a beer.
Does it
It's
look
a
like it?
beer
Yeah,
with
that's nice.
antlers. A bear with antlers. It's a beer. I love that.
It's
So
beer.
this is very melony.
So I had one of these the other night. I had last year's and I had the years before. Last year's was off for me. This year, I was spot on. It's great.
God, I can smell the watermelon seed.
It's very melony, but it's not just watermelon. I think it has a honeydew aspect. It's got
That's
a
a
mild
definite floral.
sweetness.
Absolutely.
It's so yummy.
I'm getting a lot more watermelon, and I like that because I cannot stand cantaloupes or honeydews.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
As I was a kid, I couldn't eat them.
It's the money melon. It's green. What's wrong with it?
definite watermelon, and the white pithy rind of it.
With the
Yeah.
exception of a real Indiana muskmelon or like the actual Athena cantaloupe, cantaloupes are pretty much worthless to me, and I don't want a beer that smells like cantaloupe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you mention money melon, getting into like the real green melon,
Like that really
real,
juicy green
with
melon.
yeah, like right down to the Miradori liqueur that comes from it. Oh God, yeah, that's in there. A lot of people don't realize watermelon, squash blossom, the honeydew, the cantaloupe. The blossoms have a little bit of fragrance to them, and I catch that in
It's
here.
so yummy, you guys. So if you
I
guys
agree. There's that
know
floral.
anything about me is the fact that I'm just not a big sweets fan. I don't eat a lot of cakes or cookies or anything like that. My kryptonite is sour candy. Like that is my go-to. These fellas can attest because they have seen me just down bags of Sour Patch Kids.
Literally, Sour Patch Kid, like watermelon, the package that's just the watermelons.
That is my favorite candy of all time. Again, if you know anything about me, you know I pretty much, on the summer of 2018, I think I lived off yellow Red Bull and the watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
They're good.
This
They're so good.
tastes just like Sour Patch watermelon candy.
You know,
like
I
watermelon.
haven't seen
It's,
sours in a while.
it's so
What's that?
delicious.
Sours. It's like the sour Myconites. Remember those
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day? They were pretty good too.
So
But-
yeah, the beer. I think classic goes style.
Again, not too tart, kind of like we were talking last week. We were worried it was going to be a
Little
little
salt.
bit too sour.
You know,
This
then
is
the melon.
perfect for me.
there's something I have to say about this, which I want to throw this out there. This is actually appreciative about the way this beer goes. It is definitely flavor out front. Okay,
Mhm.
I want to say it. For someone who's looking for like, I want to taste a goza for the way it goes as beer. It's just that true color. No, this is a goza for a goza, which is it's flavor out in front. It's just soft-bodied wheat beer behind it. There's barely a backbone of beer here, and it's just a carrier for this really cool flavor
Yep.
and an awesome buzz.
It's so good. It comes in a 12-ounce can. ABV on this is $2.75 for this. I don't even know.
4-2.
4.2. I mean,
I was
pretty
curious.
standard for this style. Crushable,
I crushed
drinkable. I drank a lot of these out on the beach this weekend and enjoyed myself.
That's a beer.
That's attested to the fact that everybody's already done with
Can I
it.
just say there's a little
It's gone.
sweetness on the finish that's a
Very
great
good.
compliment to the
The
sour brine.
sour beginning,
Mhm.
yeah.
I get a lot of that taste. It's like I'm just trying to get that last bite on the piece of watermelon. I get that little
Right
A little bit
there,
of
right
rind.
here.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All right, what do we got next?
I
Next
do have to ask before Josh does this. And I love that we're doing another sour goza.
To
This
kinda
is great.
compare
This
the
is
two.
great. Yeah. Do you guys? Have you ever had the pickled watermelon rinds?
Absolutely.
So you do
I
know
really,
about
yeah.
And like, just saying that beer gets back to that.
Oh, I agree.
They're
Yeah.
delicious.
I'm not saying it's
Without being
identical taste.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it gets back to that. It's
Agreed.
beautiful.
All right.
I love the pickled watermelon rind.
We
I
used
mean,
to
I like anything.
we used to sell the jars at my old job. It was
Oh, yeah.
classic, and I was like, who eats these?
A lot.
Apparently, a lot of people.
Mhm. All right, if you guys remember last week, we did the Paloma from
Huh.
Sycamore, and Rob mentioned about the beer he had before we had started
This is Josh's beer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is
So
the beer
glad
he was
I
talking
said
about.
that.
So now we're really gonna get to taste it
Yeah,
along with
the
everybody.
Dank Tank Gozes are free. Gozes are
Ghosts
free.
are free.
Yeah, so no, this is really cool. I had this the other day at the house, but I didn't want to try it because we were talking about it last week. Just that coconut lime goza. First thing you get when you smell it is the coconut.
Coconut. It smells like the beach.
Yeah.
It smells like the salt air and the beach for the coconut.
It really does.
Lotion.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
kind
I was
of.
good. I'll help you with that. That's
So the coconut
I grew up in the Midwest.
and the beach.
you mean sunblock.
It kind of also smells a little bit like coconut milk. Like you
Yeah.
know when you open up that little like.
Yeah, I can see like
I
coconut
brought the
water.
Malibu thing last week. I'll bring it up again. There's a hint of like if you're going for the goza, that has that margarita flavor. Well, shoot, a shot of Malibu is not far behind.
Ooh.
So bear with me here. The salt hits me first,
Mm-hmm.
just barely, and then the coconut just dives in on it.
Yeah, but it's whole coconut. There's like a rustic coconut, like down to the husk of it, like through the fibers.
The lime is there as if a lime was just squeezed and set. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have that like bitter lemon or like rind.
Yeah, or
Sort of
nowhere near
notes.
that black lime flavor.
It's almost like they put a they did a salt rim around a
Pina colada.
I can't believe my mind just freaking
Blank
Well,
on
blanked on
pina
that.
colada.
Yeah.
Frozen pina colada done in a margarita blender.
With the salt rim and the lime right on there.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly
Yeah.
that's it.
I love coconut, and this is just the perfect amount of coconut.
They
It makes me wonder, could I drop a shot of Malibu in a frozen margarita? No,
Yeah.
just drinking
Just
sweet
drink
water.
it.
You get that smell of like almost sun lotion,
Yeah.
suntan lotion, but it's not like it doesn't taste like sunscreen, which is cool because a lot of times when they use coconut, they'll do too much of it,
I was just about to
and it'll
mention
taste
that.
like I'm licking my arm with banana boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of just squeezing suntan lotion in my mouth.
Well, there's also
And
a
that's what I
reason
was going to
why
mention as well. That
survival tips recommend not drinking just coconuts.
But sometimes the coconut flavor can be a little bit overpowering, and then you also get that whole suntan lotion vibe. This does not do
This
that.
is delicious.
However, I'm gonna say, guys, for sunny day beer, this thing's got some color.
It does have a little color to
So
it.
it does have some maturity that can grow into the evening, and there is just a genuine beer body and a malt bone to it.
I like Sweetwater as well. That's kind of they hold a little place in my heart. They
So-
actually started me on
All right,
craft
so
brews.
one thing I want you to explain, Josh,
The fragrance. It's all about
Since
that
this is your
something
beer,
over fragrance.
explain can conditioned.
Can condition. So what that's going to be is the secondary fermentation. Basically, you ferment the beer initially to get the alcohol content, change the flavor profile and stuff. Secondary fermentation is going to be how you carbonate the beer. If it's can conditioned, basically they throw it in there with a little bit of live yeast, dose it with just a little bit of sugar, which is normally pre-measured, and then the residual yeast in there will ferment just enough to carbonate the beer.
I have a question.
All right.
Can they use coconut water sugar for can fermentation?
Probably. I mean, if it's like glucose, fructose.
I mean, it's
and
still
that
a
stuff,
sugar.
as long as it's not like lactose or like a hard to ferment sugar, you're fine.
I wouldn't be
You
surprised.
may be on to
Yeah, because-
the coconut in there.
Yeah,
Was it
because I'm
can
starting to really
conditioned?
think about the way this flavor's here. I thought it was coconut oil at 1st
Mhm.
but because it's like this broken down coconut flavor. And
So 3.75 for a 16-ounce can. That's $3.75. I'm sorry. 4.8 ABV. So
Yeah,
it's
so-
right in there goes to ABVs. They're generally 4s. I don't think I can't remember. Maybe 1 or 2 that have been higher.
Yeah,
Can I
but
touch
And
this
they're
is-
sitting right at
Can I touch
Those
on
have
that?
been like
Yeah.
the Imperial.
they're lighter beers, they're session beers. You know, I mean, these are meant to have a couple on a hot day. This
Can
is
I-
not something you want to drink and get buzzed off of in the wintertime. You know, like this is good porch beer.
all right, I might be wrong. and I've been pushy about this point, so I just want to clear it up before I interrupt anyone else. I'll interrupt myself with this. Gozas are free. And we've had this thing. I've been staring at this name for a week. Is it because Goza is an unregulated category of beer, that the beer naming, beer JP, we talk about that. So is it a more liberal category, and so it's open for interpretation as to what could be a goes?
Well, the thing is, like, the actual style of the goes is, like, very, very specific to, like, a few areas in, like, one specific region of Germany and all that. So it's like, when you do a goes style or a goes, I mean, it was not done a lot for a long time, and it was never a popular beer. Somebody found it, resurrected it, and because of that, I mean, there is a certain degree of ambiguity to the actual goes style.
Yeah. Which may attest to the fact that some of the more American styles tend to be
So the variance in
a
these
lot more
styles,
sour.
is Sweetwater just saying, coconut, why not? Like gozes are
What is
free,
it
we can
again?
throw
They
this
have a
in
whole
there.
story.
Yeah,
on
they
the
have a
back.
nice little story.
They have a whole little story on the back. I don't know if that's gonna give you. Take a tart ale and put it in a tank. Cut a chunk of lime and coconut and take it to the bank. Added salt and coriander to really make it crank. Now you've got a beer that's sounding pretty dank. But don't forget that coconuts could kill you when they fall from a tree. Don't believe your brewer when he tells you that gozes are free. That's kind of cute.
So are
I
you?
thought it was a good sing-along, but it doesn't answer my question, but
Yeah,
it kind of
I
does too, because the brewer says gozes are free. Well, he might be handing them out like they're free, or I'd love to know that brewer. I'm not sure that's what he means. I think he means there's a certain liberal character because the unknown nature that the brewers can explore this mysteriousness for a little bit
Oh,
before
that's right.
brewing convention really tightens down on competition. So when I was talking about the journal, I was talking about the brewers journal competition, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the BJCP, the Beer Judge Certification Program, that's what all American beers are affiliated by.
Yeah.
I mentioned the I word a minute ago, talking about higher ABV gozes, and then all of a sudden the I word pops up.
I didn't want to like get in there with the truth. Who am I kidding? I wanted to get in your face with the truth, and apparently Flying Dog already got there. We can't figure out whose face this is.
I'm telling you.
We have some ideas. I've heard 2 great ideas already, and I'm not going to out the originators.
My idea is that.
Okay, one of them's going to out himself.
my idea is that's Obama.
He's got really big ears, really big
And
nose.
he says, I do solemnly
He's got a
swear.
nice. But also who swears in? James Comey was one of the suggestions I heard, and the really big ears. He heard something. So just throwing it out
Yeah,
there,
but-
and we'd love to hear some comments, and maybe Flying Dog could tell us.
What's
Oh
the-
no, that's Ivan.
What's the first words when he got inaugurated?
I do solemnly swear.
So anytime a witness goes in, so is the president just a witness? Is that all you're talking about?
No. When he gets inaugurated,
So let's introduce the beer that we're talking about.
I'm not
Flying
saying
Dog
he's a-
Brewery,
He's a naval officer. I'm like,
the
no.
truth.
Isn't
It's
that
the
guy out the
Imperial
law?
IPA.
It turns out it's
Jack Nicholson.
Joe Don.
Can't handle the truth.
So good old Imperial style.
Alright, I'm sorry. We all got off.
Everybody got off with
While
me.
Christina was.
Somebody's got their wits. Listen, it's an Imperial IPA. I like this thing. It's Flying Dog. Flying Dog East Coast beer. We like them.
Shut down.
Maryland.
Alright, so.
That's all
I know
say.
Christina already said this. So this is the truth from Flying Dog. This is Imperial IPA. 275 for a 12 ouncer, and its ABV is
8.5.
8.7.
So a respectable Imperial, but not outrageous.
Oh, are you sure it's not a Scotch ale? That malt note is intense.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The whole world, the world of Imperials
Wait, it's
and
from Maryland?
doubles
It can't be
came
Scotch.
from Tsar Alexander, correct?
With this, not exactly.
But the term, that's
It's more
where
like
the
that
term
aye
came from.
Captain.
Imperial stouts were the only ones that really had that label thrown on there.
With from Tsar because he liked the taste of the beer. They traveled back. It froze.
Yeah, so
that sort of
we took
storyline?
that and applied it to other styles once Humble
Okay.
really popped up. Because like how else are you gonna denote IPA is like twice as strong? It's like we got Imperial Stouts or stronger stouts, so we'll call it Imperial IPA.
He brought a soccer ball back with him too. Just to
Classified with
clarify the
borrowed the
story.
descriptor and like effective.
Basically, Imperial is anything over 8. Loosely over 8.
Really, 7.5 is your line.
I thought there was a 0.5 in there, so
Okay.
Yeah,
it was
7.5.
7.5.
7.5 is really like the max for IPAs if you go by the guidelines. But after that, double, triple, imperial, all of that are kind of lumped into one category.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
synonymous terms in
They
my
might
mind.
have clarified it by now, but it was really like a catch-all of anything.
And I thought double and triple were talking more about hopping.
Yeah, well, you
Situation.
or like whatever materials they use to make the beer, they can call it a double or triple, like double the malt, double the hops, something like that. But in all reality, you can just call it whatever you want: double, triple, imperial,
So
whatever.
There's really no hard and fast laws like French wine law. Or
Well,
something.
if you hand
There's
me a
not
double
hard and fast
IPA,
laws. There's just like the BJCP exists, but you don't have to legally follow it. But you
Ghosts are free, bro.
it makes it makes everybody's life easier when we can all agree what an IPA is, kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I will.
go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
will say on the nose it's very hoppy, but on the palate I agree. It's got some really nice maltier tones to it that kind of balance the beer out. For
It's
me.
got a drinkability
It's
factor.
not
It's
like-
hard to deny.
It's
yeah.
not my favorite way into an ale. However, I know that this is a crowd-pleasing flavor. So this is something short of barley wine, short of just total imperial ale, our 10 fibers. This is no Eye of the Hawk, which I used to buy Eye of the Hawk on tap. Pints, 9.5, advertised as an IPA. No double, no triple. So we have an Imperial IPA, 8.5 in a 12-ounce can.
8.7.
It's
Oh, okay. And it's called The Truth. I'm starting to really look
You
through the
can't
layers.
handle it, okay? So anyway, for me, I get maltiness, but I'm getting a little booziness that I'm not. It doesn't.
I'm not quite picking it up. I'm actually quite enjoying this.
So can anyone pick anything out of the hop profile? I'm not going to say
Not
there aren't
really.
hops. Like there are hops. It's pleasant. It's like
grassy hops and stuff like that.
Maybe Cascade.
So it's like a whole plethora of hops, and it crosses the rainbow.
You want us to start at picking out hops? Hallertau, Cascade. Can we just throw them out? I mean,
Citra. Yeah, there's probably a Centennial
Funny
in
enough, though, I
there.
don't think Citra in this at all.
Yeah, it's probably Chinook, man, because you got.
Oh,
I mean, it has
yeah.
that grass clipping kind of feel to it. a little bit.
Grassy, short, like citrus, short, like right in there. It's in that.
And to me, Cascade picks up some of that
Do
grass.
you guys get any metallic?
Yeah, Cascade's like grass and grapefruit. Cascade's like the ubiquitous.
So Imperial, that's drinkable. It's affordable. Sounds like a $10 six-pack at a gas station.
I mean,
I'd be stoked to find it on my way to
I
a
thought it was
party.
going to be a lot more hop forward. The flavor's fine. It's
I mean,
surprising me because I was anticipating something completely different.
apparently people are liking it. I mean, we're selling a lot of it.
Yep, I sold a
Um,
handful today.
Yeah, I took some out. There was no more on the rack.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah. For me, it's
It's good.
maybe we just
It's-
drink too many IPAs.
Well, it's
True.
like, I don't know, I might have to find a new category. Well, I could do the Berliner Weiss next week if you guys want.
I'm down for a Berliner Weiss
The jelly donut of beers.
all day.
I think that's going to surprise you.
I guess basically,
I
here's what
definitely
I'm
think that
saying.
was
If you
gonna
like
surprise
Flying
you.
Dog's
The-
beers,
The hog,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's definitely going to surprise you.
different than
It
before.
doesn't have your flavor profile that you're thinking of, I don't think.
Well, I always. We'll get into this argument.
We do that either off camera or next
I'm
week.
going to say
When
the
we fix
truth.
it next week.
The truth cuts down to what Flying Dog's actually about. And I don't want to boo-boo it. It's commercially available, I'm sure. We have some here. And we've tried to keep it affordable. It's a good beer, 8.5. It's in a can. It's green. You can see it in the cooler. Debate the picture and the content all day long. Drink it. Let us know what you think.
All right, we're pouring that wine. Rob, what'd you come for us
Definitely a
tonight?
red wine tonight.
Rob, like you said, no preferential treatment. Dang.
All right.
So you picked something out pretty cool this week, Rob.
You're not gonna be able to see this on the.
There is a word on this bottle that
There we go.
got my mind going. And I don't mean the embossed label that's there, or even the Magnifico brand that we're talking about. But there is one word on this bottle that tells me I'm going to be happy. Can you guess what that is?
Well, let's see. Garnacha.
Yeah, buddy.
The actual thing.
Like everything else out of it.
You've already said all. I was gonna say maybe Spain.
Yeah, that
The
would be
country?
but Garnacha is from Spain. It was So that Garnacha and Spain go hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand.
It's like that and Tempranillo go with Spain.
This is the part of Spain I
Now
love.
I will say this: Grenache, same grape, France.
Same grape, France. That's right. So you're telling me the Pays d'Arc might be larger than just one current national state?
I'm digging the nose.
Well,
I'm really liking the bouquet on this one for sure. It's appealing to all my good sensors.
All right, so here's the thing I'm going to tell you about this. I am trying to remember, but I think this has a sweetness to it that's going to surprise you. It's the juicy fruit
Okay,
sweetness.
Well, I mean, it smells like a ripe,
Grenache,
it smells like a
Grenache.
super ripe black cherry, man.
Yeah.
This is
I smell cherry too.
But like
God.
specifically like the black cherries, not like the reds.
So when people were talking,
You know,
like the old lyrics in those songs when they say cherry wine,
You're doing this.
they're not
you do it
talking
wrong.
about
I
wine
used to
made
do it
from
all the
cherries.
time.
They're talking about this
Yeah, you
stuff.
smell it so much
That
better.
one that tastes like the cherries.
Okay, so you know when you would get the black cherries at like an ice cream shop, those like kind of like jellied black cherries that go on. That's what this kind of smells like.
And then when you taste it, you're going to tell me that they're the chocolate-covered black cherries.
Are you getting some cocoa? I haven't taken a sip yet. I'm
Well,
really digging the smell.
I have a very firm grasp about what I'm about to get into. My nose just told me to dive in. That's a straight up like, just for enjoyment's sake, because my nose just said yes and I have a full glass. I went for the appellate, I went for the enjoyment factor. I bypassed taste.
Remember, you probably need to take 2 sips off this.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
Just because of the IPA before.
I double ripped straight off the top, and this wine won. It just kicked an Imperial IPA out of my mouth.
Whoa.
That's pretty good.
So, one thing,
What?
the difference between, for me, Garnacha and Grenache. Grenache, French, I always get the Big League bubblegum chew
Yeah.
in the nose, and very slightly in the palate before I get the fruit. No Big League chew here.
No, it's
This is
jammy.
dark black cherry on the nose. This is plum. This is
And then no surprises when you get to the palate. The nose
Ripe fruit
continues
on the
right
palate.
in. Just as you hit the palate, somebody said shaving chocolate.
chocolate and truffle. And
To me, it's
Almost like a chocolate.
I'm
truffle
getting
blend.
a good dryness out of it, but it's not tannic.
it is tannic. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to taste it. I don't
Yes,
taste
but
it.
how is that tannic masked? Is really what you want to. So why is it
I'm getting
so
dryness,
tannic?
but I'm not getting acidity. I'm not getting the tannins.
I have no negative feelings about tannins.
Tell me what you're picking
It's
up so I can
everything
try to see
positive
it.
about tannins.
The juicy fruit, the ripe fruit that's just getting ready to burst from the vine. And then you get, like you were saying, chocolate rolled in there. I get an earthiness like a truffle.
Yeah, that earthiness is amazing.
But I get
right down to the vine.
right up the top of my mouth. Just the tannins. They don't hit the tongue very much, but they hit the top of your mouth.
The roof of my mouth and the
They
front of my
run
teeth.
from the tongue.
Yeah.
It runs from the tongue, but then once it gets to the,
It's like underneath my upper lip.
It's like the tannins are instantly esterized esthetized, when you drink this.
Josh,
Yeah.
what are you feeling
So it's
about
like-
this?
No, I'm really enjoying it. I have to say, like, the palate on it is actually a lot smoother than I would have expected coming from the nose, Because, like, I know a lot of the Grenache, I mean, that's a huge part of Côte d'Aron, too. And they have some
Yep.
big...
I'm glad Josh said that because
They have-
Côte d'Aron is a softer appeal than what you were describing
Sure.
earlier.
But I've always found a lot of Rhones have, like, relatively aggressive tannins, especially for kind of wines. And, like, this... I thought this was going to be a little bit more aggressive than it was. There are definitely tannins, but it's a lot smoother
Yeah, that's what
and calmer than I was expecting.
Grenache
Maybe I explained
sits
it. Like, I'm
below.
just not picking up like a big tannic bite.
I'm getting, like,
Like
a
I'm
little...
getting dryness,
I
but
mean,
it's
like-
not anything
But
like
Côte
I
d'Aron
anticipated.
is usually like the Grenache is not the high blend. It's like 15%.
What part of Spain is this from?
You'll have that cab or
Is there a
however-
specific
depending on
valley
your
that
day.
it's normally near?
Cab
Like
and load.
I'm a little bit. I'm more
but-
familiar with
Clay.
Grenache.
This is
Not-
Carignan. But
You and I-
Garnacha. I keep
Gar-
and I want to say
Grenache.
Grenache, but the
That's
Grenache
You're
French.
great.
Yeah.
That's also the name of grape.
That's like-
Garnache is the style. But,
Okay.
But Grenache is the grape. That's why I keep on saying Grenache because it's on the back. It's saying that's the grape. Now, one thing I will say, this is aged a minimum of 3 months in oak. It doesn't say 3 to so many, or it's aged
Just
maximum.
minimum. They're probably tasting as they
So,
go.
I want to know what you guys feel like this will pair with food-wise.
Well, number one, I came in tonight off of red meat, some beef, just a nice cut. They didn't call it a New York cut, and I think I did this on an earlier program where I argued about a KC cut versus
I'll
a
tell
New
you
York
which one in a
strip,
second.
and it's floating well. But that was
There's one
not
dish that covers every one of that.
that was not quite
I'm gonna say it.
at the
That's
echelon.
smart.
I think that only just got me ready to think about meat and wine and spice. And I think there's deeper tones in here, and I'd love to hear a chef perspective on. Oh, good to know you like meat, Nick. Here's what I did tonight for dinner.
All right, Josh.
Josh.
That's good. That's good.
I
So-
honestly wouldn't mind some, like, lamb.
Yeah.
Like a lamb burger.
Okay.
What about Moroccan style?
No, not mutton.
Okay.
Lamb. I think lamb specifically. Mutton might be a little...
So
mutton might be a little muttony.
we've already
duck, I can see
cheated a
duck
little
too,
bit.
but a little bit
Yeah,
less.
we cheated a little bit. I'd let her look at what their pairing recommendations are.
However, my pairing before that's where my brain was already going. I was already doing one of the things they mentioned, which I think a nice juicy scallop. Something that has a little bit more of a buttery nature to it, I think would pair really well
I
with
think it
this.
would dig the butteriness that we're not quite getting from the barrel aging. It would just like
Or vice versa, do like a buttery noodle with a side of like a blackened scallop.
yeah.
Maybe
I
something
like-
like that.
I like the blackened type flavor with this. I really do. Pushing it to the level that I want to
I
have
just think
shrimp
the
and
butter
white wine.
would be great
So,
with this.
For me, and kind of cheating here, even though it doesn't mention it on the food pairing, sticking to Spain. Sticking to Spain.
Paella.
Paella.
Come on.
Yeah, so the way the rice blackens
You
on the
get
bottom of
some
the pan,
sausage
there's
in there,
shrimp
you
in
get
there,
some
there's scallions.
Fish, shrimp, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
so on the back
So
of the bottle,
it's a
guys,
red
it
wine
literally
that
says suitable for all kinds of meat, fish, shellfish, cheese, rice, and pasta.
So
So they're giving you that sort of like
This-
background.
It's not
This
good,
is
but
for-
the way they say it's good with everything.
yeah, just about.
Because I can see
But think about it.
but the darkening of the ocean.
that'd be great.
A little bit of
It's right
everything. Yeah.
Especially if you throw some
pecan.
octopus ink.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Little
So,
saltiness.
this is why I made my joke about blah blah blah, the Pais de Ac goes further than, because this goes back to the ancient Caesareal lands and his old groves, and Grenache being one of the grapes that Caesar promoted. By this Caesar, I mean Augustine. Yeah, he promoted this, and it happened. They established two main valleys, the Rioja and the Rhone.
Can we
And
talk
what
about
we're
the
seeing-
gorgeous color this
what
wine
we're
is too? Though it's
experiencing
like
is this certain red clay on an
Garnet.
internal river that blends with seafood from like over mountaintop away into that land. Like there's an iron mine, like a 4,000-year-old iron mine in between the seafood and this wine, and they go together. And this thing is not only a piece of history.
And
this should be a
there's
piece of
history
history
part too, right, Nick?
So this is a
We are an educational show too.
2017.
Why?
You guys ready to
Escaping
know
the
the
Bronze
kicker
Age.
for this right here? You've heard all the praises thus far.
Yeah, this is gonna get you the most right here.
Are you ready for this? $10 bottle.
So,
Wow.
It is a $10 bottle,
Alright.
guys.
Just
Like,
about.
what? That's insane.
it doesn't drink
Look,
like a $10
a year ago we
It
started
does-
this program.
What would it?
Months later, our president told us that things were going to happen, that we were going to make tariffs in countries in Europe, and I told you guys, we better make friends with Spanish wine. And I'm telling you, one of the
It's
best
yummy.
deals we have on our shelf is a European wine. It is EU rated. This thing is like soft on the earth. It's got the stamps on the back about it. And it tastes like a world-class wine to me right
If
now.
I was gonna say what I would expect to pay for this, having tasted it, I'd probably say about $18.
Like a nice mid-range style, but it's definitely on the lower
$17 to
end.
$20 was what I would expect.
Standard 750 bottle.
It's
I mean,
truly Spanish though. It's flavor out front. I'm not getting this huge like body follow-up that makes me wonder like, oh, will I ever drink wine again? No, I'm basically left wondering what I'm gonna eat next.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at that price point, man, this is a perfect entertaining wine.
This is great
a
tapas
great
wine,
one.
entertaining, food on your feet.
It's also one of
This is get a
those.
case and have some friends over and,
Yeah.
and grill out.
Yeah, find out
But
who's
it's
throwing
also
the
one
next
of
party.
those wines that has such a clean,
John
nice
Balls, if you're paying
finish.
attention,
Yeah.
if you're watching, yeah, your next cookout.
But it has such a clean finish.
Let me actually add a caveat.
Clean-
that's
clean
more to
tannic.
Elizabeth Walls
There's-
because I know
there's
she's the
quality.
real chef that.
This is quality of it. It's very hard. It's not quite a caramel the way that those southern
That
Spanish
was my shoot.
and the top end, probably the top end of the Rio, it's north going whatever. It's so hard to describe this unless you know the true
It's
steep of
so.
Andalusia.
It's just not offensive. Like the finish is so nice
It tastes
that
like
it
a
doesn't
dolly
leave
cake.
such a lingering flavor that you
I know.
just want to take another sip.
It's like a burning
I agree,
banana.
because I've
Like, we're
I've pretty much
almost
just about sipped out.
Done with this whole glass.
So I'll tell you what, since we are close to the end of our line, why don't we go ahead and move on to
I hate this part of the show.
the rating.
I liked it better when we all talked and didn't disagree.
Alright, Briny Melangosa. Again, guys, I already went in hard in the fact that I know that I'm very biased on this beer. It's definitely, it's up there probably close to number one, if not number one of my top brews. A very, again, enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. It's so good. I've had, actually over this weekend, I had a bunch of friends try it just because I had a bunch. And almost everybody was like, oh, I kind of like that.
That's right.
So it's so good. Whether it's not your type or not, like it's one of those things to throw in your variety 6-pack to just give it a try. I think it surprises a ton of people. Very well balanced, great flavor complex, definitely something that my palate absolutely loves. By the end of this week, that case will be gone. 2.
Whoa!
So for me,
I didn't see that coming.
I like this beer a lot. It's for me not quite too difficult. I'm going to give it 1.75. I do. This is solid for me.
Nice.
This is a beer my chiropractor and I talk about every time I go in. He asks me, "Do you have the briny melon in
But
it?"
it's
I'm
like-
like,
it's a
"No,
hard
Jason,
beer to
it's not
get.
time yet."
Yeah. It's a hard beer to get.
And then I told him, "Hey, it's coming out in the next week or two." And sure enough, this past weekend, I pull in. He's pulling out. And I said, "Did you get briny melon?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got some."
It's
So-
a cool beer, guys.
People look for it. This is a good beer. I love the watermelon. I love the salt to it. I love that little white pithy watermelon, rind part of it too. It's got a little bit of just I don't even know. It's just good. So 1.75. I think $2.75 can. That's a good price point. We'll probably get this as long as it's available this summer.
Definitely, Rob. Thank you. That's great rating, and I'm very appreciative that the Goza fans are giving this thing a high rating because it's
not your
an
favorite style.
amazing Goza beer. I'm not a huge Goza fan, so I'm gonna put that out as a prereq on my voting system, just so we keep the whole channel intact. We're a year old. You know I'm the IPA guy. I like hops. There's this other part of beer that's not quite there. But for the things this beer does, I have straight thumbs up.
Sure.
And Anderson Valley is an incredible brewer. One of my favorite IPAs comes from Anderson Valley.
They do the whole spectrum.
And
They do
so
everything
the way
so
they make
good.
beer is incredible. And so when I tasted how they even got these flavors in this beer and they put this Goza behind it, it's fucking amazing. It is straight thumb up. Like,
That's on Nick's thumb scale.
oh my god,
Thumb
this
scale.
thing is so good. And when you get down to those things you couldn't quite taste, it was the pickle juice. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go up to Port City Produce, get you a jar of some pickled watermelon, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Ask Sven about it.
My
So,
almost
no.
surprise for this one, I'm going to give it a perfect 2. Mainly from a technical perspective, because as far as Gozas are considered, the salt is there, I can taste it, it's not too salty. The acid from the sour is there, but it doesn't give me heartburn as I drink it. And the watermelon flavor is there. Now it's a flawless execution. Kind of like I was saying, I've been drinking this beer for years. I almost feel like I remember when it came out. Like, I don't even know when.
Yeah, I do want to reiterate, I had it the year before, or 2 years ago, and then I had it last year, and then I had it this year. So last year it kind of let me down a little bit. This year I came back to it, and I was very, very, very pleased with it.
Yeah, and there's subtle differences as the years go
Naturally.
by for like the brewers and stuff. This year's is really good. So
It's
flawless execution, Anderson Valley, another great year of Briny Melon Goza. I mean, this is not like an unknown beer either. This thing's pretty legendary in the sour circle as being one of like the first
It's
ones
so
that
good.
people really
Keep up
latch
the good
on
work.
to.
Which also pushes the point, Josh. Their production levels on this must be immense.
Yeah.
And they're pushing out a top level Goza.
I mean, we are legitimately on opposite ends of our nation. Like, you are at the very top of California. We are on the very bottom of North Carolina. We couldn't be almost farther apart. And we're getting it, and it's just insane. It's such a quality
absolutely
beer.
delicious beer. What would be really fun is to pair that with food.
Ooh. So, yours is next, Josh. Why don't you start us off with Dank Tank over
So
here?
good old Dank
Gozas.
Tank Gozas are free.
Free.
Coconut lime goes from Sweetwater. Sweetwater, impressive again, because you guys are known for 420 Pale and a lot of hot stuff, really good job executing the sour. Flavor profiles are perfectly blended right there, so I'm going to give this one 1.5. I don't like it quite as much as I like the Briny Melon, but this is also like not necessarily a one-off, but like a special release. It might maybe a one-off for Sweetwater, because I know the Dank Tank are super special release.
It's a full series, they
Yeah.
change it up.
So I mean that's really good, and I really like the fact that it doesn't taste all the way like sunscreen lotion. Very.
Yep.
I do also hate the smell of suntan lotion.
So I'm gonna semi-follow suit. I'm actually gonna go 175 on this
Okay.
one. I loved the blend of flavors. I loved again that it still has the coconut and lime without being very much like Banana Boat. Unfortunately, that's just a flavor that's correlated with those things, so it just happens.
Yeah.
This does not do that. The flavor profile is really nice. It's very balanced, mildly sour. You get the salt. Again, like you mentioned, execution. I think they did a really good job with this beer. Definitely one that I will throw in a 6-pack coming up. So I'll take to the beach on Sunday for sure.
And you said 175.
175 on that one.
So for me, here's what really surprised me. I'm used to Sweetwater, and I think Josh said IPAs.
They're hoppier stuff,
And
yeah.
Dank Tank is definitely their IPA series.
I thought it was all about hops, right?
And so to get a Goza in the Dank Tank series just
Was
kind of was like, really? When I saw the write up on it, I was like, really?
Is that just a canon thing, or is it really in there?
This is part of the Dank Tank series.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm kind of, I almost didn't order it just because I know.
It sounds like one of
Sweetwater-
those. We joked about the Berliner Weiss earlier.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Sweetwater throws a Berliner Weiss in their variety pack. I feel like they do that just to keep up sales.
I don't know.
It's not something they just throw.
Sweetwater had the old Braun a couple years.
They
That
did.
was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was so good.
It's kind of like that weird feeling.
And actually,
of-
that was the only reason I got this was because I was like, I know they know how to make a sour.
It's kind of like that weird thing where you run into like a restaurant that's known for fried chicken, and you see there's a burger on the menu, and you questionably buy the burger at a chicken joint. It turns out that the burger's actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
Normally, that's not how that ends.
Yep, exactly. So when I saw the Dank Tank series with the Goza, I was like, and then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot.
I'm so glad we
If
did
nothing
it.
else, I'll drink 23 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
So I like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 1.5 on it. And the only reason is because I gave Briny Mellon 1.75. I think Briny Mellon is a better Goza. However, this guy is very solid. Like I said, on the palate, nose was the beach. It was salt water and suntan oil.
My life.
On the palate, the salt hits you just right up front real quick, fades away to the coconut. The coconut is not overpowering, and then you get the sour. I think it's a nice, complex little Goza.
Execution's great.
Yeah. I was very pleased with it. 375 for a 16 ounce. So
Pretty solid.
So I think that's solid.
Nick?
While I thought the malt tone was a bigger thing with the Sweetwater, which does not surprise me. Sweetwater malt drives their beers and then throws hops on top. That's their typical thing. All right, and they make great beer. And Anderson Valley is like true recipe, and I don't want to pit one beer off another right now, even though they're within variety, because I feel like they're doing two totally different things with what you can do with Goza. And this is why I wanted to mention Goza Free. Sweetwater's freeing the Goza. They're exploring a whole new territory with this coconut, with the malt-driven Goza, all this. It had color, caramel tone. There's so many reasons why I could say, oh, this beer is so much better. I don't know that it's actually better than the Anderson Valley. There's only one thing it's got over the Anderson Valley, and that's another 4 ounces. And so, for that reason,
And
125.
You're hurting
and
my
a
heart.
dollar. Wait a minute, and $1 for
But it also
4 ounces?
has $1 for
Nah.
4 ounces.
Do I think the Sweetwater tastes better than the Anderson Valley?
That's quarter per ounce.
No, they're different beers.
Okay, not gonna compare.
And
this
so
one.
I'm just not going to slam them up against each other. What I'm going to do is throw them in the cooler together and let the crowd figure it out. Because these things are crowd pleasers, people.
All
They
right.
are both.
They're fabulous.
very
Well, continue, Nick, because you now need to go to the truth.
That's
Tell us.
Oh, the truth! You guys want the truth out of me tonight?
Please don't go full truth.
The truth is,
I don't think
We'd be here
I don't
until
think the
midnight.
world can handle
the
this.
truth is, yeah, that's right. Send in the heavy artillery. Nick's coming in with the truth.
The truth is, Nick watches InfoWars.
So, truth.
The truth is, I'm surprised they even call that Imperial. Right? I like the beer. I like Flying Dog. I even like the label. I don't know who it is. It could be Obama. It could be James Comey. It's every politician. I'm staring at, hearing things, and doing nothing. And that's the guy in my can, and I'm drinking it. It's colored green. Yes, $2.75. Sign me up. However, when I get deeper into this and I start reading the InfoWars, I'm like, come Come on, Flying Dog. You guys, we have sent you like laudanum. We have just like been putting into you, giving you praise, and then this is the beer we get. And it's labeled it like Lauda, like the Gloria Lauda. It's Spanish.
I thought you were talking about that stuff that
It's the
guy
Spanish
that
wine
making
making
with
this
Luke's
sweet
barrels on.
No, that's way different. That's very British. I'm talking more Latin, Lauda, not laudanum.
Oh.
Yeah, like remember
Back to the
Tombstone,
truth.
where the white
Hey,
white herbs die. White.
Nick, back to the truth.
These guys love that shit. They're on YouTube. Back to the truth. Truth is, I don't know. This beer, it's bringing up some mixed feelings. Like I want to go out and get more. The store's closed, type of stuff. But
Nothing. That's nothing.
but what you should do with
And
this
then the
beer?
one we thought somebody said.
I was like, oh, what the heck is even?
Drink it fast. Share it with your friends. And I'm gonna just say 1.25. It's not my favorite Flying Dog. I've had better this year.
Josh?
Solid thumb. Caveat here, I have drank so much of this stuff over the past 5 years, it's not even funny. Because, my dad is nothing but a hophead, as everyone here knows,
Yep.
for sure.
He
So-
loves
Loves his hops.
and Dad,
Oh my god, I'm gonna make him a shirt.
Anything Flying Dog,
he loves Flying Dog, Lagunitas, Sierra Nevada. He's got Dogfish Head. God. So Dad loves all these guys, and Flying Dog is a mainstay at the house. And the Truth is one of his favorite things out there. And yes, I drink a lot of it. It hasn't really changed much from the beginning. Really, it's always been a milder Imperial IPA. So solid thumb up for being a mild, easy to access Imperial IPA. Give or take, it is a lot more palatable than some of the crazy ones out there.
I'll give you that.
Yep.
There's some Hop and Frog will put some out. When you have it, it's like a face sprinkler.
Yep.
And,
I'll give you that.
And
It's like whiskey in a beer.
after you learn about IPAs, then that's when you move on to those guys. But this one, it's an easily accessible. It's a very American Imperial IPA because it's really you can taste it as brewed.
That's what
for everybody.
they claim it's an American style.
Yeah, and it's really brewed for everybody, is the way I would see this beer. So that's why it's solid thumb, excellently made. It's just not my style.
Same.
Yeah, I hear you, Josh.
I'm gonna
Go
follow
for it.
suit
Good rating,
with
good
one,
report.
but I'm also gonna give it the 2.5 just because of the palatability. If it was just off me, it's just a 1. Again, it's fine. I wouldn't just drink this with my friends that are not used to drinking stuff like
I
this.
might just keep this in my fridge till I just need it.
Yeah, because of the fact that it could probably sneak on some people because the palate does not, have anything to do with really the ABV. I feel
Wait,
like
I got
you
that.
tasted some booziness, right? I didn't quite get any of the booziness.
It was a
To
little
me,
bit
it was a little bit
no.
maltier. I did. We were trying to figure out the hops of it. I did look it up, and of all the hops we said, none of them are a part of it.
Oh my
And
God.
the one that we didn't think was a part of it is actually a part of it. So it's a big hop profile. Warrior, Summit, Columbus, Citra, and Amarillo.
Citra,
Yeah, I didn't taste any of the Citra. I don't get any of
you
the
guys
acrid-
boo-hooed me on that.
Yeah, I don't get any of that
It's
citrus
odd
notes.
that Warrior's in there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Warrior's, actually, as the name says, hence the reason why it's named
Very
that,
aggressive.
it's an aggressive hop.
But Flying Dog's famous for boiling hops.
If
So
you boil
where-
Warrior, yeah, I think
where are they?
aggressive.
1.25 for the drinkability aspect, 1 on my personal palate.
So,
we covered this. You
so
boil
I'm
out
gonna
and
go-
dispose the oils.
so I'm gonna go for me 1. And that's because it's getting 0.25 because Josh talked it up for drinkability. Here's the
You
thing.
were at a 7.5.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
Where Nick is a hophead,
Oh.
where everybody knows Nick's a hophead, everybody knows I'm not. However, I have been drinking more IPA.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Not just because Nick, but just because that's the popular thing. I've got to keep up to
For
date
like
on.
2 decades now, if you still want to call that popularity.
Yeah, I've
I
got-
would say 2 decades.
I've got to keep up to date on it anyway.
I would say a decade.
They're
How
not.
long have you been
They're
doing
not
it?
my initial. They're not my initial ones to go to. So
I'm not the baby.
so here's the thing.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. I've had a lot of IPAs that I
Yeah.
drank, didn't, they're not my preferred, but I thought were really good.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of Imperial IPAs that I drank that weren't my thing, but I thought were really good. This to me was nothing special.
Yeah, how long?
However, because it was nothing special, it made the drinkability a little
But
bit.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it and I didn't like it.
So,
I'm really curious, and you gave your rating. It's just to follow up, I'm really curious. I want to see which sells down faster. The Southern Tier 2 IPA.
That 2 that from last
So
year.
that's-
Or the Flying Dog. Because 2 IPAs literally labeled like, this is exactly how much alcohol we put
Yeah.
these hops in it.
and it's
Truth's telling you anything but the
It's
truth.
I didn't look at today's sales on it, but going into today, they were really close to each other.
Yeah.
So-
I sold both, but I think I sold more 2 today.
2X
So it
is
could-
I'm curious.
That's
I'm
just
just
a little
curious.
weaker ABV wise than
So-
the truth.
Yeah, it's like a
But
But it's more
75.
aggressively
Yeah,
hot.
so
We're gonna move.
so yeah,
Can I
give
adjust
one?
the rating real quick? I want to give it an extra quarter thumb.
He bumped on the
You're
corner.
sitting with me at
And for
1
one single reason, because I can see damn through it.
You know what? Yeah, it's not a hazy IPA.
That's true. That's
True.
Maybe
It gets a single quarter thumb
Yeah.
because it's not a New England IPA.
So moving on
Totally
to the
the
wine.
wine.
son.
Magnifico.
So we have the Magnifico Garnacha from Spain.
Up front.
2017 vintage, and this was a really good wine, guys.
Yeah.
I think we can all
Can you
agree.
just tell me the price again?
$10.
$10.
You.
$10
Are you kidding? That is a $15 wine.
$10. So here at the office, we like to prove that you can get good wines and not have to spend an arm and a leg.
And this is
This
right here.
this one right here,
Buy it before Josh buys the rest of them.
this one right
Don't
here
drink that
says,
one.
says
Yeah.
you can definitely get a good bottle of red wine
Yeah.
without spending an arm and a leg.
Real cork,
This is
actual foil.
this is an everyday drinking wine.
Look at that freaking label too. It's embossed. It's mysterious.
It's a gorgeous bottle.
I liked
It's really pretty.
the deep black cherry on the nose. I like
Oh,
the smell was ripe fruit, like on the vine, just getting ready to burst.
I'm still smelling it.
The
Michael, that's
palate
empty.
palate was bright red and going into black fruit. So you had plum and you had cherry and you had deep blackberries, and then the tannin hit you on the top of the palate, right at the top of the mouth. I thought this was a really good wine. I enjoyed the heck out of it when I was sampled on it, and I instantly, when he told me the price, I was like, yeah, give me a case. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this based on price, based on style, based on consistency of the style. 2. This is a 2 thumbs for me, just because it hits all the points that you need. And this is a wine that you can feel comfortable going to the shop every day and buying a bottle and taking it home and having it for dinner and then sipping on it the rest of the evening.
This is the point at which I have to ask myself, are my Spanish thumbs worth as much as my French thumbs?
I can understand that
And Josh brought up this thing about, this ain't great, Côte de Rhone, you take it left coast, right coast, you get these different expressions. And so I'm just going to back off the 2 thumb label here, because yes, it was everything I expected. But it is Spanish wine.
okay, so negative for that, huh?
Well, it's not quite that French thing. It's just not quite.
It's still old world.
And this is a good and a bad reason. This is a good and a bad thing.
They still have. They
But
still
I
have
want
Spanish
people
wine
to know what they're drinking. Alright? So I'm going to stick right now at 175. Hear me out. It's got everything beautiful about Spanish wine. This thing tastes and smells like cherries. I can get the red clay out from it. Oh my god, I can smell. I was on a journey in northern Spain, like trying to find like how it all happened in Europe, just out of the taste of this wine. It's amazing.
So you gave.
But
175.
I gotta say, this is Spanish wine, and so this thing doesn't have a taste that rolls over till tomorrow.
So maybe I was influenced because I appreciate Spanish wine.
I like this,
Same.
but I want wine.
If I had a choice between the two, unless we're talking really high dollar stuff,
I want wine world to
go-
understand.
Unless
Spanish.
it's legit
Yeah.
champagne.
I'm just gonna say wine world. I love this wine, but it doesn't have that giant cali. It's not your French lingering. Okay, it is just your gentle Spanish. Give me some sardines and some brioche. Now let me roll on to the next thing.
It's funny.
Have you ever eaten sardines and brioche?
Have you been to the Pine Stop?
He said
said
red meat
two-
earlier.
And he said two French things to eat with the Spanish wine. He's really on his French kick.
No, have you ever eaten sardines on brioche? Like literally just sardines on brioche? Because that's not how that works.
Well, Josh, what's your rating on this?
Well, no, you
Well,
got 125.
You told me 17. You said 175.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
You 100% did.
You can't take
Well,
it back.
Okay, well my
You
rating is not
secretly love it.
my rating is not gonna be sardines on brioche. I'm gonna give it a solid 2. Kind of akin to the thing where it's like, I do appreciate a lot of the French wines, a lot of like that lingering craziness that you get in really good French wine. My issue with French wine is that the ones that would be comparable to this in France would be more expensive because there's the name of being from France. Even if it's not the best
Almost
wine,
like double. straight
it's
up.
still more expensive.
Yeah.
Now, the wonderful thing about Spanish wine like this, only with Spanish wine are you going to get something like $10 like this. Like, there's a couple of French ones out there that'll do it, you know. But Spain, like, you can get affordable wine really tasting great in your mouth, you know. And this one is a delicious wine. I love everything about this. I would have fun pairing this with literally anything I'd cook. It's like, I would grab a bottle and cook stuff and just like, wonder what it tastes like with this. I don't like that. Next thing. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like it's affordable enough you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you break into the $30 bottles, now I'm not cracking that open when I make a burger. Like, I want it to be a fillet. I try
Great with a burger.
There's
That would be great with a burger.
not to extend Josh's review,
Cheddar
but there's an
bacon cheeseburger.
affordability, not only in the pocket, but on the palate.
Yeah, I mean,
This thing will not steal your night.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, you can try some of this and try something else. And that's the beauty of Spanish wine, and this carries that.
All right, so Christina, we got a winner.
2 thumbs
I
up.
love it, guys. Oh,
Flavor profile is 175. $10.
yeah.
2
Crank
thumbs
it up.
up.
Crank
Like,
it
are
up.
you serious? It's just, it's so good. It's well balanced. To me, we kind of debated about the amount of tannins people were tasting.
Yep.
It still was dry. To me, it was not super tannic.
Yeah.
It had a wonderful, juicy kind of beginning.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was super tannic, but the tannin was
Was there.
Did
Okay.
you guys get spice?
Well, yeah.
I don't know if I got that much spice.
I got like a hint. A hint.
It doesn't matter because it was so good either way. Like, it wasn't missing anything. It wasn't too much of something. It was just an insanely balanced, well-made Spanish wine.
Yeah.
Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No matter what
If you were
it
doing
says.
a blind tasting, like say you went to a winery or something and they had this in the blind tasting, you'd probably walk out with a bottle.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
so good.
It's one of those ones that stick out enough that you just,
Well,
I gotta get one of those. And
Off the
it's
street.
And,
Taste
and what
wine.
starts it with me is how it smells. I immediately loved the smell of it. And from there, if it smells that great, to me, most of the time it's going to
And
taste
so,
that
unlike French, the palate followed the nose.
It did, absolutely. You smell that kind of fruitiness up front, and then all of a sudden, that first sip you took was very fruity.
Yeah.
And one of the things too for us, my wine reps are starting to learn my palate. That's why I want Nick and Christina and
They're also
Josh
starting to challenge
to be able
us.
to be able to taste along with us when they come in, because they're starting to gear tastings towards me. They know I like Spanish wine.
So they're I've always been
I
a Tempranillo fan.
can remember the rep when he brought this in. He says, "All right, so I got this, and this."
Well, literally, that's no lie. That's part of why I'm here.
And then he said, out in the car, I got this if you want to try it. And I'm like, well, you know I want to try it.
Yeah.
So we tried the others, and then he went and got this, and I'm like, okay.
Rubio, right?
Yeah. You sold me on it. What do I got to pay for it? And he told me, and I'm like, give me a whole case.
Yeah, you guys
guess
can't
what?
beat this.
They
If you're
were
looking for
there.
something different, if you're looking for something you like, easy drinking, something you can share with friends or something, this is definitely the one to grab. Because again, did we mention that it's only $10?
And seafood friendly.
It's insane.
$10, red wine.
You're not
I just can't get off the
going
price
to lose
point.
anything from just having a couple bottles at your house.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So I think that
That's
wraps up for us. I think we hit everything.
Happy
So,
1 year.
One
What are you
year,
drinking
1
now?
year, 1
Thanks
year.
for bringing me
Yeah.
in.
Happy one.
I was a little bit late to the game, but I have appreciated being here for the last 6 weeks.
Listen, guys,
yeah.
if
It
you're
might
tuning
even be
in,
more than that. It might be close to 10.
if you're tuning in, please tell Christina thank you for joining the channel. And if there's anything you have to say to the guys, please
I
tell
like
us.
it. I like that
Throw
she
your
gives
thoughts
little.
on Christina in the comments. No trolls.
Yeah.
I just like that she gives the female perspective, because we went so long without it, and yeah.
Well,
So.
far
And
beyond
I'm
that,
also
far
pretty
beyond that, I
educated
will
girl.
say,
I also have,
Christina's
not just
past.
being a female, I actually know things about wine.
Just so you know,
It's
it's called
true.
Dirty
It's actually-
Educated.
this
Dirty
is very
Dirty
true.
All
Right.
right,
Very
so
educated.
without stoking Christina's ego anymore, we're gonna
It's okay,
say
my birthday's next
We
week.
can't blow out her brain anymore
Thank
than
you,
her bangs
guys.
already have.
Thank you guys for
Thank you so much
the
for
people
joining
that
us.
watch.
Please remember to like, comment, subscribe below.
and we will be posting this on our Facebook page. And thank you guys. We will see you next week.